Good morning. You're watching Sunrise live from Salisbury. It's a city where anger is growing over the level of information being shared with the public about a second nerve agent poisoning in just 4 months. 2 people remain critically ill in hospital after apparently handling an object contaminated with the deadly substance, Novichok. Police are yet to find that item. Authorities are working on the theory that the nerve agent came from the same batch used against Sergei and Yulia Skripal in March. But the Russian scientist who invented it has told Sky News there's no chance Novichok could have survived amongst the elements that long. Well, our West of England correspondent Rebecca Williams has this report.
The search for Novichok in Salisbury was supposed to be over. But 4 months since Sergei and Yulia Skripal were attacked, police have now refused to rule out more people falling ill. 5 new locations have been closed as counter-terrorism officers try to find out where and how Dawn Sturgess and Charlie Rowley, who are still in a critical condition in hospital, came into contact with the nerve agent. At a community meeting last night, police tried to offer reassurance that this time all of the substance would be found.
It's worrying that we have 2 members of our community who are gravely ill, and of course we need to respond to that, hence why you are now seeing another 5 sites that are controlled down so we can follow that same process, which is fundamentally about protecting and reassuring the public. I hope that we're not back in this position in 4 months' time.
But for many local residents, it's simply not enough.
I think they're telling us as little as what they need to, but it's not enough to curb the fears of people, I don't think. You know, we're living in a very strange society at the minute with terrorism taking lots of different ways, and I think this actually is the worst case of terrorism this country has probably ever seen.
Accidental contamination is thought to be behind the latest incident, and police are investigating whether the couple came into contact with a contaminated container that was discarded back in March. But the Russian scientist who helped invent Novichok says the chemical used in the Skripal attack couldn't have survived until now and would have decomposed.
Why? Because impossible in 3 months in this very humidity area as in England. After that, in 3 months, after many rainings, it's fresh attack with using fresh examples of Novichok.
Nobody imagined that this could happen again. Back in March, people were told that there was a low risk to the public. But what we're seeing in Wiltshire now seems all too familiar. Rebecca Williams, Sky News in Salisbury.
Well, let's take you to Queen Elizabeth Gardens, where we can speak to Rebecca Williams this morning. Rebecca, good morning to you. There must be a sense of déjà vu for you with this story. You were here in March covering the Skripal poisoning, but what are people saying to you now?
Well, I think lots of people are continuing with, a stiff upper lip, continuing as usual, but lots of people also very worried because, as I said in my report, they were told back in March that there was a low risk to the public, and now we see 2 people fighting for their lives back in Salisbury District Hospital. So it is all too familiar. There are a lot of parallels here. As you say, I'm here at Queen Elizabeth Park. This is one of the locations where the couple came before they fell ill. Later on today, I think we will start to see a lot more police activity. There are cordons in place here, a few police at the scene at the moment, but they are going to have to do an extensive search of this park without doubt, because I think it's highly likely this was one of the locations where they potentially came into contact with this container which had Novichok on it. So that will happen in due course, and I imagine then they'll have to do the decontamination procedure as well. So we are going to see those familiar scenes that we have seen in recent months here in Salisbury, and of course that has an impact on business as well. Many people very concerned. But as you saw in my report, there was a meeting last night for residents, and the Chief Constable of Wiltshire Police couldn't confirm that there wouldn't be anyone else affected by Novichok, which will worry some people in this city for sure. I have to say, the hostel where Dawn Sturgess had been staying, I drove past there this morning. There is police activity, and they've now put up more barricades, so it's impossible to see what's going on inside there. But it will be, further investigations, people going in those protective hazmat suits to try and comb through the room that she'd been staying in and potentially some of the other rooms as well. This is part of the investigation. Once again, they have to build up a timeline and figure out exactly what went on. But certainly later on today here, I think we will see yet more police activity.
Rebecca, thank you very much for that. Of course, we'll be covering all the developments throughout the course of the day.